What's up guys? In this video I'll show you how I made these plain wood ornaments look like these using heat transfer vinyl. So to do this project with heat transfer vinyl, you can see I've got my wooden ornaments. I bought these at Michael's on sale. I think a bag of 7 ornaments was like $2 for the bag, and I'm using 2 different types of heat transfer vinyl. This is a brand called VVivid. It's in their V2 Pro series. This is actually a carbon fiber embossed look heat transfer vinyl. This one actually has a carrier sheet already built onto it, so you don't need to have a separate carrier or transfer sheet for heat transfer vinyl. This other one is going to be Siser or Scissor. This is their patterned colored heat transfer vinyl. I also got this at Michael's, but I'll put links in the description below where you can get these. You can see that I've already cut out a piece to size for this bat here, and so I'm going to have to cut out a piece to size for the skeleton head. Alright, so before we press this, we got to make sure that there's no liner that would prevent us from actually adhering the vinyl onto the ornament itself. In VVid's case, it has this really loose plastic protector liner that you can easily take off, and then this exposes the adhesive, and it's that's the side that you'll apply onto the ornament. For this Siser, it doesn't look like there's liner, but there actually is, and it can be a little tricky to get it off. I found that if you bend the corner a little bit and then kind of work at a corner here, and you might even need a knife to help a little bit, you can kind of bend the corner, pick at it, and then you'll be able to separate the plastic liner from the actual vinyl itself, just like that. And so you'll want to peel off this plastic liner so that when you go to press this, the adhesive is exposed and will be applied onto your ornament. And again, you'll want to place the ornament onto here so that it fits. And so since the adhesive is the white side, the vinyl will be applied to this side of my ornament. So with that, let's go to the heat press. Alright guys, so you can see that I've got this set up on my heat press. The ornaments are just down in place here, making sure that I have the vinyl covering the ornaments entirely. Notice that I did put parchment paper down here so that when the adhesive does melt, it melts onto parchment paper and can be easily peeled off and doesn't stick to my padding of my heat press. So my heat press is ready into temperature right now. I'm using a Heat Press Nation Black Series 15 by 15 clamshell. I have it set to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to do a press for 30 seconds in this case. Now before I do press it, the VVivid version, the VVivid heat transfer vinyl does not need a plastic protective sheet or Teflon sheet on top. The Siser one does, I believe. So regardless, I'm going to put this piece of parchment paper over both of these here. And I'm not too worried about the VVivid one because it doesn't necessarily need it. And then I'm going to go ahead and press, and it'll be for 30 seconds. Alright, time has lapsed. My heat press is letting me know that it's done. Go ahead and lift this carefully. Carefully move off the parchment paper. And you can kind of see already here, it's going to be a little hot, so be careful, that this seems to be mostly pressed on. This could probably stay on a couple more seconds on this one. For the Siser one, it's a thinner vinyl. Looks like it's on pretty good. You can see it's got kind of these imprints in it. It is pretty hot right now, so I'm touching it carefully. It is kind of warm. Anyway, so it looks like this is on pretty well. And so this I'm just going to take off now and let it cool. This I am going to press for maybe another 10 seconds or so. Alright, so I've given it another 10 seconds or so just to make sure that it's on really good. It's a little hot, so I'm just trying to be careful here not to burn myself. Alright, that does look like it's on very well. So now we just let these cool so that we can trim it out. Alright, so these have cooled fairly well, enough to the touch. And then so for the VVivid one, I'm going to have to peel off the carrier sheet now. So that's what I'm going to do now, otherwise you get this kind of bubbly look to it. Okay, so I finally got that started off of a corner here. This VVivid material actually is, I forgot, a hot peel, so this would be easier peeling it while it is still warm. Totally forgot about that, so my fault on that. So if you use this VVivid, be sure to do it on a hot peel. You can see that it is a little bit on fairly tight once it's been cooled off. So I'm just trying to peel carefully, pulling this off of my ornament. Alright, and so now you have this ornament has the carrier sheet peeled off of it. And then there's no peeling for this one required. It's already as it is. And so the next step is to trim out all the excess. And so just get yourself a utility or a craft knife of some sort. And I'll start with this this VVivid one here. I found that if you turn it over and then you start to trim, it tends to be a little bit easier, at least as a start. Make sure your blade is brand new and super sharp. You could also, if you want to, trim it from the outside along the edges. Again, you're going to need a really sharp blade to make sure that this just cuts through nice and cleanly. Now, since this is wood and you're using a really sharp blade, you may catch the edge of the wood because it is kind of soft. And so if you catch the edge of the wood or it starts to stop you, just stop for a second and then kind of reevaluate how you're cutting so you're not gouging out the wood. Alright, and so that is it all trimmed out except for the little holes that you can just puncture through later on if you want to put the string that came with this ornament through it so you can hang it up. And so for the skeleton one, you're going to do the same thing. Basically, we're going to trim this out the exact same way. This one is a little bit more intricate because you have all the teeth here that you'll need to follow. Alright, and there it is after a little bit of work. So here are the two different Halloween ornament tiles using heat transfer vinyl. Alright guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification button so you get notices when I post new content to the channel. Got more videos in the works on the ways I'd love to share with you. Thanks again for all your support guys. Have a great day.